So the first goal from Germany, Toni Kroos receives on the back foot, turns around because he's got space in front of him. And because he's got space in front of him, the two attackers already make the movement off the ball and signal to him that they're making the movement off the ball to stretch the field and free the wide player that is going to receive the pass from Toni Kroos. So the pass only happens and the movement from the attackers only happened because Toni Kroos had a little space to take that touch to make the long pass. That's why the attackers made the movement off the ball. And now when the far player on the wide side receives the ball, then the attackers will do another movement, a movement off the ball to free now the space in front of the box. When the attackers execute that movement, they bring the defenders with them, and this will clarify and free all the space in front of the box to number 17 to take the shot. They complete the movement. We can see the space is being generated from the movement off the ball from both attackers, and this clears the space for number 17 to choose to control the ball on the back foot, left foot in this case, or to take the shot on the first touch as he did. This will depend on his mindset, the confidence that he has here to finish that play and decide the game for himself. It's important here that a player that arrives to this situation understand the effort that all the teammates made for him to be capable to receive this ball here in this situation. So it's important that he's empowered with the confidence to take that shot, to know what technique to use, and to finish the play here into the goal. Germany's second goal starts with Gundogan receiving the ball and turning, and then he dribbles a little bit and decides to make that pass instead of keep dribbling. And the reason is very simple. The player that he's passing to has advantage over his defender, and that's why it's more advantageous for Gundogan to make the pass now instead of keep dribbling. If there's no advantage from any teammates towards Gundogan, the best decision from Gundogan would be to fix an opponent and pass the ball to the wide player. Gundogan finds the pass to the player that has advantage. The first thing that the player does is control the ball on the left foot to keep the ball opening towards the goal. He wants the ball to go into this direction so he can drag all three defenders towards him and free the entrance of the box. There you go. The feint brings all defenders on him, and when all defenders are brought to him, he passes to his teammates that can finish from the entrance of the box, but his teammate is going to make a fake step with the right as a feint before controlling, a feint before the first touch, to be able to do the first touch towards the middle of the box and finish with the right foot. So this is going to be very quick. The fake step with the right, bringing the right foot now back to make the pass because he sees the advantage from his teammates. Because there's advantage here, the control with the left foot to bring the defenders, the feint to bring the defenders into him. When all defenders are brought to him, he passes to his teammate that is making a fake step with the right foot to bring the right foot down to control the ball towards the middle of the box, take one more touch to separate the ball from his body and be able to finish the ball with the right foot. Germany's third goal was the penalty. Just the stopping here to make the keeper decide, and the keeper on that stop, the keeper is already showing where. Germany's fourth goal starts on the wide side, and the player makes a feint to be able to cut inside. And when he cuts inside, having a teammate wide to help making the defender undecided into closing the pass on the wide side or closing the middle, he makes a feint, cuts inside, and then Gundogan makes a movement to drag opponents with him and attack a free space in between the opponents. But this space that Gundogan is attacking only exists because number 9 created that space with his movement of the ball. So let's understand both movements. When number 9 did that movement off the ball, he attracted those opponents with him and cleared the space for Gundogan to attack right here. That's the space that Gundogan is going to attack, and because he's going to attack that space, the defenders, you can see already number 5 there, is already running to protect that space because he sees that Gundogan is attacking that space and he can receive the ball. So now the next urgent space that the defenders need to protect is the space that Gundogan is going to attack. But then number 9 understands that, and he thinks, okay, I created the space for Gundogan with my first movement. Now Gundogan is going to do a movement and create a space for me. So I need to get back into that space, the space behind Gundogan, and attack that space again. That's what's going to happen. Gundogan attacks the space, and number 9 attacks the space behind Gundogan because Gundogan is attracting 3 opponents with him, 3 defenders with him, just like the feint in the second goal. And then he passes back, and now the 3 defenders are on Gundogan and leave his teammate free to control with the right foot and finish into the goal. Scotland's goal starts with a set piece. The ball gets to the second post and very unfortunate the first post. The ball is on the first post. There's advantage from the German player here. The ball could have been cleared in the middle of the box there in the second moment. The third moment, the ball went on the second post. Then the player just deflected it into the middle of the box, trying to find a teammate there, just out of luck, hey, let's see what happened. Something to highlight here. Number 9 from Scotland getting the advantage over Miller. Germany's 5th goal starts with a pass with a triangle there on the side, a pass towards number 19 here, and a movement off the ball from Miller to attack the free space generated by the movements from his teammates. So here we can see clearly Miller attacking that space, and as we've seen before, as a consequence of him attacking that space and receiving the ball there, what's going to happen? He's going to attract 1, 2, or maybe 3 opponents with him, and he's going to free a space that he left free, the space that he is now. So he will run into the space where the arrow is pointing, and when he gets there, the space where he is now will be free for his teammates to use, and that's the zone that he's going to pass to after he makes that movement. There you go. He receives there and immediately passes to the zone where he came from, because he knows that that zone will be free because he just came from there. So he attracted 1, 2, 3, at least those 3 defenders, and I could include the 4th defender here in the middle of the box, are reacting to Miller's movements. That's the importance of a movement off the ball, and that's the importance of the confidence in knowing what spaces to attack, why. Even if you're going outside of the goal, towards the outside of the goal, Miller knows the importance of attacking that space and freeing the space in the entrance of the box where he came from. That's where the shot's gonna come from. So he's doing the movements not for himself to take the shot, but for him to set up a play for his teammate to take the shot. And then his teammate here needs to have the confidence to receive that ball and understand all the effort from the team and have the confidence to take that shot, to finish that play properly, or to make the most out of this play and decide properly. Germany has its entire team around Scotland. Scotland is entirely inside the German team, so Germany can circulate that ball more if that shot isn't clear, but probably this shot will be a clear chance since it came from a play executed with this movement. Control and take the shot. They calm, and then they accelerate. You see the center forwards attacking the free space right here. The center forward attacked that space, and because he attacked that space, he knows that the space where he came from is going to be free. So he attacks a free space that doesn't go towards the goal, just to free the space that is in front of the goal and make the pass to the space where he came from. So that's what he does. He receives the ball and immediately puts the ball in the space that he came from, the space that is free. Eriksen controls with the chest towards the ground, towards his left foot to hide the ball from the opponents, and tries to finish towards his right foot, to hide the ball from the opponent. The tying goal. And the tie comes from a shot outside of the box. And the important thing here to highlight, if this is you, whoever is watching this video, if this is you, if you're a player, would you have the confidence in the last minutes of the match, your team is losing, it came from a corner, this is the situation, you got this many players in front of you, would you take that shot and take that risk? Because if you throw that ball into the moon, might be that your teammates complain with you. Are you ready to take that risk? You need to. Teams need players who take responsibility and take risks. Players who take risk and take responsibility are rewarded by fate with match-changing decisions and game-changing skills. Always try to impact the match in a positive way with the skills that you've got. Trust in your skills, trust in every hour, every minute that you put in the training grounds, and go into the field certain that you are capable of deciding the match for your team. If you're not thinking that, you shouldn't be in the field. Only players who believe they are capable of changing the game and the ball in their feet is better than the ball not in their feet should be playing in the field. Only players with that confidence should be in the field. Make sure you are equipped with that confidence, the confidence that you build in the training ground, the confidence that you build from every action that you do in your life. You bring it here, and you know that if you don't take the responsibility for yourself, no one is going to take it for you. No one is going to do for you. No one's going to change the game and say that you were the one to change the game. You need to change the game for yourself and take risks for yourself and take responsibilities over your plays. Amazing. That's the first goal from Spain, controlling on the back foot and taking touches forwards. And again, a player only stops dribbling when there's something more advantageous. In this case, the Croatian defenders did not see the space in the middle of them here. That is clear that the attacker can receive that ball. So ball to the attacker. He's got the advantage already. There's no reason to keep dribbling. And then finishes already an advantage for my teammates. The second goal from Spain starts with number 19 looking outside and having to do a feint to be able to turn inside. He makes a feint to separate the opponent from him. Every time you're facing outside, you need to make a feint to be able to separate the defender from you, so you can turn with another feint and quickly find. He never stops dribbling. He never stops attacking those spaces. He brought another defender towards him. He knew what he was doing while he was turning, and when that space shrinked, he made the pass. And then when he makes the pass, his teammate controls on the back foot, and now he can access the middle of the box immediately. Because he controlled with the back foot, now he can see everything that is inside the box. There you go. This is everything that this player can see just because he controlled on his back foot and turned right away after the pass. His teammates choose to occupy the zones towards the goal, which frees the zones in front of the box. After the movement from these two teammates, the space that is being cleared is the space in front of the box. That space will be cleared after the teammates' movements, and that's where the ball is going to connect for a free access towards the goal. He finds the space, controls with the left foot, finds that the defender is too much inside of him, so that control and that second touch become a feint. So he can touch to the other side because Modric was coming from the other side to defend him. And now he's got a free shot here in front of the goal. If another defender jumps on him, he needs to cut again. There's no free shot again. And now he's on the left foot. And now he can take that shot. There's a risk of deflection, but he still made that. And the mistake here, we can see clearly, is Modric following that Spanish player that is dragging him into the box. We can see here that Modric is unnecessarily pressing that player or marking that player, when again it's very unnecessary because his center back is covering the space between that player and the goal, and any movements that that player can do can be covered by both center backs. So if the attacking player chooses to run on the option number 1, the center back in front of him can take that space, and he chooses to run in the option number 2, the center back behind him can take that space. So there's no reason for Modric to be pressing that player. If that player controls facing backwards, all he can do is play back. So Modric should be occupying that space right there. If Modric is occupying that space right there in the sequence of the play, he wouldn't have to rush into the press to try to stop the shot. You see now clearly that Modric is in the middle of two players, and now he realized, oh damn, if that player in the middle receives the ball, I need to jump on him very fast because all the way between him and the goal is clear. We can see clearly that there's a hole in the Croatian defense, and that's mainly a result of Modric's movement. When the player receives the ball, Modric comes full speed, but you can see that he's not in between the player and the goal anymore. He's coming from the sides, meaning he needs to rush on that tackle because otherwise he's going to lose the timing. He rushes into that tackle. Now he cannot go back. Very smart from the Spanish player to make that feint. Cut Modric away from the play, gets to the second player, adjusts his footwork on the ground, cut the ball to the right, and then take the shot immediately after the cut from the right to the left with the left foot. Spain's third goal starts with a cross from the right side and a ball on the back of the defenders to be deflected. And the important thing here is you can see the Spanish players that made the first movement into the goal from the first deep play on the side here. So the ball went to the side and deep for a cross, and the first opportunity they chose not to cross. The ball went back and it's gonna go to the side again for another cross. So who can attack that second cross, not those players, because those players are still coming back from the first opportunity. So the movement from those players impedes them to run again for another opportunity. So clearly, who is the player who is going to cross look for? He's going to look for the player who can make that run. What players can make that run? Those two players are allowed to make a run in a second moment that this play calls for a cross. So that's what's going to happen. Let's watch. On the second moment, all the players that are in front are now running back, and all the players that are back are now running towards the goal. There you go. And that's the player that he looks for to make the cross. The player that can come from behind with momentum and is able with his movement to allow for the player that is going to make the pass to calculate the distance where the pass needs to connect, and watching the movement from the player to adjust the proper pass. Now we are watching the first goal from Switzerland. The player controls with the right foot and turns forward immediately. He knows the importance of attacking that space in between those two defenders and getting that ball in between the lines, because attacking that space will drag all those four defenders together into that space. Because he turns into that space, you can see how all those opponents were dragged together. You can see clearly those opponents were attracted together because they need to defend that space that is very vulnerable there in the middle. But still, it's room for the Swiss player to make the pass that connects as an assist to the goal. Great pass, and then one-touch finish. Body tackle, and puts the ball into the goal with the first touch. Bouncing the ball off the ground. This technique we've seen many times lately. It's a very important technique to shoot that ball into the ground so it bounces and gets over the goalkeeper's hand or foot, whatever the goalkeeper is throwing to try to stop that ball. We've seen that many times lately. Switzerland's second goal. The player dribbles horizontally. Whenever a player dribbles horizontally, we can clearly see what the opponent team needs to do. What they need to do is to close the way between that player and the goal, the diagonal that this player has between him and the goal, throughout all the path that he's dribbling horizontally. So in the way that a player dribbles horizontally, he's accumulating players in his way, and then he can release the ball to a free teammate. He finds a free teammate, the free teammate controls on the back foot, and then comes the most important thing on football, movements off the ball. We can see his teammates making him run off the ball, asking for the ball in a free space. Even if he doesn't receive, he's going to move the defenders there and free another space. What space? The space where he came from. So let's see what happens. He does the movements. Two players do the movements, two movements from the Swiss players, and now the defenders are occupying the spaces that they are attacking and freeing the other spaces. Because there's a free space now between the ball possessor and the goal, he's going to try to risk for the shot. Confidence is very important, taking risks, taking responsibility in the game, understanding that every teammate is doing movements to allow you to score too. He finds it very well. Again, let's see the movements from his teammates, the importance. Look at that. There's no way he can cut to the right and shoot now, but after the movement, the movement from his teammates, they are asking the ball, stretching their hands and asking for the ball. Look at them stretching their hands and asking for the ball right here. Look at that, stretching their hands, say, hey, pass to me there. So now all the defenders need to close that pass. You see clearly all the defenders around the three Swiss players that are attacking those spaces. Hungary's first goal starts with the ball being dribbled on the sides, a 3v2 situation with a movement off the ball. The possessor of the ball has two support teammates on the play, and the player in the middle is going to make a movement off the ball while distracting the opponent. So number 10 on the side can receive and make a cross with his right foot. The underlap from the player in the middle is going to serve as a distraction to bring the defenders to close number 10's left foot. We can see the underlap. The underlap brings the defenders together to close the pass in the middle of them. And then the pass to number 10 happens while he controls with his right foot, and the defender needs to close his left foot. The presence of that teammate there forces the defender to come from his left foot because he needs to close that pass there, which allows him to take the cross with the right foot. He already sees the teammate on the second post asking for the ball behind his defender. The ball connects with a great pass and a diving header to the goal. Great finish too. Notice the Switzerland's third goal comes from a long ball. The defenders make a poor decision here. This defender should not be going for the body now. The ball is doing this trajectory, so there's no reason for this defender to go to the body of the opponent. He should have gone for the cover while his teammate goes for the body because he's coming from the goal. So his teammate's coming from the goal. He can go for the ball while looking at the ball instead of running backwards trying to catch up with the defender. Because this defender made that decision, he's now out of the play. His teammates is doing what he can with the header there, trying to direct it somewhere safe, but there's no teammate in sight. The ball is just left. Look at that. He's trying to defend. From Italy, miscalculation from the throw-in. The attacker was faster and could anticipate that. He made a feint, cut to the right, and then here he's got two options, and the first option was clearly closed. So we can see that before touching the ball, he makes a quick feint, changes his footwork, is able to control the ball to the right, and then here he's got two options. He's got option number 1 and option number 2 are the best chances, are the best choices that an attacker has against a keeper in this situation. Those are the most difficult balls that the keeper has. Unfortunately, number 2 is being closed by both the defender and the keeper, so he's left with number 1, so he needs to execute that perfectly, which he does. And again, shout out to the confidence that this player has and the attitude and the decision making to make that incredible goal. Amazing shot, amazing decision making, everything. Look at that. He was very, very connected. When he gets to the ball, he changes his footwork and makes a quick touch that allows for the ball to be inside of him, and that's perfect for this next shot. He sees that both defenders, the defender and the keeper, are closing option. Italy's first goal starts with a set piece from a corner. Both hands up, 2v1, 2v2. Albania gets Italy's second goal. Ball on the left, the player has space to take touches forward. He cuts inside. There's a movement off the ball from one attacker to bring defenders together. Movement off the ball from the Italian player. Because of that movement, now there's space for another Italian that has the confidence to finish that ball and try to put that ball into the goal and understand that, hey, we need to finish that play right now. Everything that we got so far is good enough. Well done. Now we are watching the corner in a deflection. They start with everyone together near the penalty mark. 5 players and 1 player behind, 6 players on the box. And there's a movement from 3 players attacking the small box from the second post to the first post. And then they become a line of 6 players here attacking the small box. Very good strategy. Netherlands' first goal. After doing that pass, the player quickly underlaps to make the 2v1, which forces the defender to cut to the sides. Look at how this defender will react to this overlap. This defender will need to move to the side to react to this overlap. There you go. The defender needs to go to the sides and then back inside. This was enough to generate the space for the shot. That's what we need to understand on the importance of the movements of the ball. Clearly, we can see here the defender needing to defend the space that the underlap is attacking. Look at that. Look at that. There you go. Now that space, now that he sees that the pass is not going to happen, okay, I don't need to defend this anymore. Now I quickly need to try to stop and block the shots. You're watching Netherlands' second goal. It starts with a player facing his own goal. He passes to the side quickly. He cannot decide facing back. The second player has space to dribble, and then comes movements off the ball. The 2 movements off the ball are those 2 players made their movements off the ball that allow for the play to develop. Those 2 movements complement each other and allow for the play to develop as they are building it. As you can see, number 9 cleared the space for number 8. Number 8 is now making the movements. The pass is supposed to be to number 8, but it deflects on the defender and gets to number 9 for a one-touch finish with the left foot. Again, player facing his own goal, passes to the sides, player controls on the back foot, takes the space, fixes the opponent, allows for a movement. Because he's fixing that opponent, he allows for a movement on the back of the opponent. Because this opponent is being fixed, he cannot protect the space on his back. This is the space that the attacker is allowed to attack because the possessor of the ball is fixing the opponent and generating this opportunity for his teammates right here to attack any of the spaces inside the highlighted zone because the player with the ball dribbled and fixed the opponent. the movement of the ball happens and he's going to receive in that free space, but the ball gets deflected and gets to the strike.